canvas, and now Parrish will look to burn a team that wanted him in these colors. Underway from Ohio Stadium. And within the smoke, a fair catch was called and made by Parrish. And that'll bring out the Bierman with the motion man.
Well, they called timeout.
They got it.
Good first for the half. Sounds like it anyway.
Play action on first down. Lindsey delivers, caught by Bierman, and he gets dragged down after a gain of 5 by Igbinosun. This Minnesota offense
with have to process so much.
DJ Fleck loves his flexibility, can still leverage at his size. Second down and 5 from the 30. Another completion, this time it goes to Jalen Smith, the talented redshirt freshman, against this stout Ohio State defense.
Well, there's a lot of future NFL players on this defense running this NFL system, but Sonny Styles, number 0, the linebacker, he's the green dot, he's the communicator, and the guy playing next to Marvell Reese is benefiting from his communication. Then the back end, look, Caleb Downs is the best defensive player in college football. Does a little bit of everything. You're going to see him on the line, on the deep safety, covering your man. He's a great open field tackler. He's an all-around outstanding football player.
Fresh set of downs after a couple of catches for this offense. Drake Lindsey talked about staying ahead of schedule. First touch for Taylor. He tries to find the hole, and he gets plugged up quickly by Igbinosun. Darius Taylor coming in had an opportunity over the course of his 2+ years to play 30 games. He only played in 20 of them. He missed a third of potential games in a Minnesota uniform.
But incredibly productive when he does play. That's that's kind of the tantalizing thing about him. He is a big play running back. And just good to see him back on the field after missing the last 2 games. We were not expecting to see him play tonight.
Devon Tracy, the motion man on second down and 9. Cam Davis, the back in for Taylor. Third throw for Lindsey is another completion over the middle, back to Jalen Smith.
Those kind of plays are going to be important to try to stay in manageable distance on third down against this Ohio State defense. Listen to this now. In third down or 4 yards needed or more, opponents have only converted 3 times in 35 attempts against this Ohio State defense. That's under 10%. And 4 yards is not a lot of yardage needed. But they are very complex, particularly on third down.
Drake Lindsey said they have to be okay with punting the football away, putting their defense in good spots today.
Taylor, pass rusher right there, Caden Curry.
Taylor is at the bottom of the screen as a wide receiver. Play clock at 5. Third and 5 from the 40. Lindsey feeling it, and he got rid of it to Taylor for the first down.
This is so well done because this is a free rusher. We're going to see Sonny Styles, I think, coming off the edge, and he's unblocked. They leave the outside guy free. He knows he's coming, and he delivers the slant route. It was Marvell Reese, number 8, who was coming at the quarterback, and Drake Lindsey stood right in there. The difference this week for this Ohio State defense, last week DeMond Williams was a 5'10" quarterback. This guy's 6'5". He can see over rushers a lot differently than the guy they faced a week ago.
So already a couple first downs on this opening drive. You can see Lindsey starting to learn how to play with this crowd. First down, it's a run up the middle for Fene Ijaboy, and he goes nowhere. Filling in for Taylor and the lost A.J. Turner, who's out for the season.
Look, these are all new starters. Now, they played some last year. They got snaps. They got some experience. They're veteran guys. That was Caden Curry, the first guy to get there, number 92. They've got all new starters up there. They've got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and they have played at an extremely high level so far to start the year.
Chip on their shoulder. They keep saying we're just a bunch of no-names. Yeah. They're not no-names anymore. They're becoming household names. Curry, Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week after an absurd performance against Washington with 5 TFLs and 3 sacks. Second down and 10. Lindsey with good protection in the pocket. Stands tall, delivers wide open. It's caught by Jamison Gears. What a productive start for Minnesota down the field. This one goes for 25.
Well, now watch. Here's the pressure. Look. But they're only going to rush 3 and drop 8. And Drake Lindsey reads the coverage, and he knows he's got protection. It's 5 blocking on 3, and he lets his tight end Gears get into an open seam, and he hits him with the football. the middle of the field, down the seams, was a problem for Ohio State a week ago against Washington's offense.
Ejeboy is back in there inside the 30. It's Lindsey. Quick throw to the outside, another catch. This time it's Brockington who gets dragged out of bounds, close to the first down.
What an impressive opening drive for Minnesota. They take the ball, surprised probably everybody. They won the toss and took the football, and they're putting the game on this guy's shoulders again. And so far, he looks like he's ready for the challenge.
PJ Fleck has just been so impressed with the way that he's handled this offense and handled really leading this team. Greg Harbaugh now in his third season as the offensive coordinator, and Drake Lindsey's proving them right now. They love the development and feel like the sky is the limit moving forward. They send Bibber in motion on 2nd and 1. Taylor is the back, fake it to him. It's Lindsey again. This time he goes towards the sideline again, and they're going to call it incomplete as Smith tried to get a foot down. If it is an incompletion, it's the first one for Lindsey.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good throw. This is on the receiver.
I think that's down, though.
He stays down.
That's a catch.
It looked like the left foot was down. He's the youngest of the receiving corps. Does he have control there when the left foot is down? It looked awful close. They're going to take a look at it for sure. Terry McCauley is signaling red zone and short yardage and goal line type defense. Last year was outstanding, and it's outstanding again this year. They have had 7 red zone possessions against them, and they've only given up 6 points. 0 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
Taylor is dangerous in the backfield. They fake it to him. Lindsey again with time. Rainbow delivery, and his first incompletion is a throwaway in the direction of Pierce Walsh.
And the first little breakdown in a Minnesota play, it looked like either the quarterback or the back went the wrong way on that play, so they really didn't get the play fake that they were hoping to get, and Ohio State was able to defend it very effectively.
And now it somewhat limits. It's 2nd and goal, but it's at the 10-yard line. So you already talked about how great this defense is in the red zone. You're limiting your options after no gain on first down. With Ejeboy as the back.
Again, keep your eye on that guy, Caleb Downs. He's the orchestrator back there.
On the rollout, Lindsey delivers. It's caught, but not for much. Brockington met immediately. Sonny Styles was in the area, as was Lorenzo Styles. So pick your poison of the brothers.
See, the defensive backs are all kind of right on the goal line. It's just kind of a zone coverage. You're moving with the quarterback, and then they come up and make a sure tackle. Make the quarterback throw in front of you, and then come up and make a sure tackle.
Third and goal from the 9. Davis is a dangerous pass catcher out of the backfield. Rush comes. Lindsey fields. Lindsey rolls. Got it in stride, but it was dropped by Tracy.
Yeah, that would have been possibly a touchdown.
Yeah, the freshman Devin Sanchez on him with about half a step.
Lindsey does a nice job of extending the play. Ohio State brought a 4-man rush. They got to the quarterback, and if he catches that, it's a little wide, but if he catches this, he might be able to turn it up for the touchdown. Instead, a field goal attempt now for the Gophers. And once again, no touchdown allowed by this Ohio State.
Points they've allowed in the opening quarter this season.
Well, if there was any question of any of the Ohio State players of whether Minnesota was going to be ready to start this football game, they've been answered. Drake Lindsey was 31 of 41 a week ago, and he's 8 of 10 so far in the first possession tonight.
And this will be a touchback for the Ohio State offense and their quarterback, Julian Sayin.
Julian Sayin is a guy who can really spin the football, can really throw it. He's not as big or as physical as Will Howard was a year ago, but he's a better pure passer, leading the nation in completion percentage. Very accurate. You watch him in practice on Thursday. The ball never hits the ground, and he's a guy who, you know, they're giving more and more of the keys to the car offensively each week. It helps that you've got a defense that is shutting people down, so you can allow this young quarterback to develop. And the other young guy that's developing is the guy lined up right next to him, Bo Jackson, who is becoming the feature running back in this Ohio State offense.
He's explosive. He's a home run hitter. And they'll go to the air on first down. Sayin
for a player up front. It's interesting to watch. Philip Daniels, the right tackle, number 70, he transferred from Minnesota. So it'll be interesting to see just how that battle goes tonight.
First carry for Jackson, and he surges up the middle. First down and more, gets across the 35 and across the 40 to the 43. Devin Williams makes the tackle.
Beautiful block by the left tackle, Austin Sarabell, who's playing at a very high level. Just collapsed that side of the Minnesota defense, and then good vision by Jackson.
Jeremiah Smith said, Bo Jackson is, quote, that guy. And we've seen it in spurts, but Ryan Day's talked about him continuing to learn the game, grow from rep to rep, game to game, quarter to quarter. They're starting to give him a little bit more responsibility. Second touch, and he just trucks him in right out of the gate. Zaquan Bryant thought he could go down low, and that was a bad idea against Bo, gains 5.
I think the thing about this guy is he gives them the big play capability. Now, this is a nice thing to see him fight for the tough yardage, but he's got that home run ability.
Saying right on target, Jeremiah Smith with his first catch into Minnesota territory for 12 yards.
Now we're seeing the other quarterback off to a hard start. That was a nice play by Jeremiah Smith, reading the coverage and not drifting too far inside. Baranowski, the linebacker, was trying to get to that hook zone. He read it, and he stayed right in a good spot and gave a good target to his quarterback, Say,
how could this guy get any better after the freshman season that he had? Like, put on 20 pounds of muscle. He's bigger. He's somehow faster, and he's become a student of the game. Feels like his blocking has taken a step as well. 6 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Jackson tries to get through that first hole. It gets
caught in because he was the communicator, at least for this play. Joey Gerlich, number 19, is in his place.
With player in motion, pressure up the middle, Sagan, sideline, Smith, incomplete. Good coverage by the Iowa transfer, John Nestor.
Now they brought pressure, which means man-to-man. One-on-one on Jeremiah Smith, and Nestor does a great job of waiting to make a move until he sees the hands and the eyes of the receiver. Might have been a little bit underthrown, but as soon as he saw Jeremiah's hands go up for the ball, he ripped his hands up through there and made a heck of a play.
Huge get for the Gophers in the transfer portal. Came over after 2 seasons at Iowa, part of that stellar defense for the Hawkeyes. Third down and 9 now for Sam. Deep drop with pressure. Got it to Tank. Can he get to the edge? He can. He fell just across the 35. Nestor was in pursuit, and now it's 4th down.
Yeah, Nestor got mixed up in some traffic. Watch Nestor right here. He's going to try to get through the bodies, and he's beat. And if Tank catches this, it's an easy first down. But he loses his balance, and it's too far to go for it on this 4th down play for the Buckeyes.
A lot of praise to the Ohio State defense, but this Minnesota defense has been impressive through the first month plus of the season as well. And now Fielding is going to come in for a 53-yard attempt. Someone late on the substitution for the Buckeyes. They get in time. This would be his career long. Previous was 47 yards against Minnesota 2 years ago. Play clock down to 1 because of the late sub. You have to allow Minnesota to get a late against Ohio. That was week 3 in a 37-9 victory, a game in which they allowed their most points of the season so far. And so we'll see if Fielding can even things up. Just under 5 to play in this first. Perlman will snap it. The punter McGuire will hold it. And the senior Fielding from League City, Texas, by way of IMG Academy, sends it and missed it. But Davis the back, throw on first down. Look out on the edge. Football comes out. It's out of bounds. And we'll see if they roll it incomplete.
Good get in the transfer portal.
So it'll be a 2nd down and 10 after they ruled out an incomplete pass. It's the 3rd incompletion for Lindsey. Now the 2nd offensive possession after Minnesota won the toss and decided to receive. Took it down the field in 13 plays and kicked a field goal. Ejeboy is the back. Lindsey, quick throw, and his tight end Gears wasn't even looking for it. Caleb Downs was right there to make a play anyway, and it's 3rd and long.
Well, back-to-back good plays by this Ohio State defense, making some adjustments on this 2nd possession. But you're right, that was just Gears not even expecting the football.
Drake Lindsey started this game 7 for 7, but he's 1 for his last 5. And this is the situation that he felt they needed to avoid. 3rd and long.
Styles showing pressure.
They won't get it off.
Well, the center can't hear, and Drake Lindsey is trying to tell him to snap the ball.
Expired. Timeout, Minnesota. It's their second and a half.
So the Gophers get their second timeout. Remember, they took one before the first play of the game. Now here they are with 4:28 left in the first.
The guard is trying to use the silent count. The left guard is trying to look back, but he didn't see Drake Lindsey give the signal. And then he tried to get it at the very end, and they had to use their second timeout.
We saw Oregon last week at Penn State, brilliant with the silent count. How hard is it, especially for a young quarterback like this in his first experience?
Well, it is hard, but it's got to be up to him. It's got to be the center. It's got to be the guards. Whoever is helping with that whole communication and that whole operation. It's not just the quarterback.
Good to see Kenyatta Jackson Jr. up on the bike on the sideline, moving around. 3rd and 10. Lindsey throws. Brockington comes to it. Has some blocking, but he won't get there. Styles and Downs combine on the stop, and it's 4th down.
Good open field tackling. It's a good safe call on 3rd and long. It gets out of the quarterback hands quick. You see if you can get some linemen downfield, pick a couple guys off, but that's good pursuit to the football by Styles and Downs.
So, Tom Weston from Australia initially will send it away to Brandon Inniss, who had a fumble on one of his punt returns last week. Ryan Day says they still have a lot of trust in one of the captains of this team, but he's got to be better, and he knows he's got to be better. It's an angling kick towards the sideline. Inniss is going to let it bounce out of bounds, and we'll see where it went out.
That was pretty good.
Let's see where they rule it. At the 9 and many others. 1st down from the 9. Sayin looking to the outside for Tate. Makes the grab, makes a man miss, and then gets crunched. At the 15-yard line, they'll mark him down to the 16. Kerry Brown, the first to make contact.
Yeah, we're seeing Mike Gerald out there at cornerback, number 13. He's a redshirt freshman. He was hurt in camp, but he really played well in the Rutgers game, and they felt like they were going to start playing him a lot more as a starter opposite John Nestor. Kind of in that cornerback rotation with Nestor and Zaquan Bryan as well.
2nd down and 4. Mylan Graham, sophomore receiver, in motion. It's a handoff. It's Jackson. Baranowski stands him up, and it's 3rd down.
This Ohio State offense has been efficient, but not as explosive as they were used to. You know, and when you think about the talent that they have at wide receiver, they just haven't had the number of explosive plays either in the pass game or the run game that they're used to.
You see the power 4 versus non-power 4 for this Ohio State rushing offense. They've been great against scrambling in Ohio, but struggled against Texas and Washington, and see what they go with on 3rd down and 1. Handoff. And the second surge might have gotten Donaldson enough. And the West Virginia transfer is going to depend on the spot. The initial spot looked like they gave them a 1st down, but then they kind of took a half step backward and moving the chains.
1st down. Donaldson is the short yardage guy. He's the bigger, more physical of the backs. He's in the fullback position, and they just try to slip it to him quickly. Minnesota kind of expecting him to get the football, but you see the strength of Donaldson to get enough for the 1st down.
6'2", 232. He was a tight end in high school before being converted to a running back at West Virginia. All 4 of his touchdowns this season have come from inside the 4. Sayin loading it up. Got a man. It's caught. Put it in the bucket for Cornell Tate. Big gains for this Ohio State offense down the field.
Well, he throws it to the wide side of the field, so the safety really can't get over to help Gerald. We talked about the new cornerback in there. Beautiful throw by Sayin to the outside shoulder. And because they threw to the wide side of the field, that free safety was no help to the cornerback. And there's that explosive pass play to Carnell Tate.
48 yards down the field. Tate has assumed that Emeka Ibuka role now with his team. Jeremiah Smith is the clear-cut number one, but Tate, a potential first-round level receiver himself, has been a bit more vocal this season and knows that his explosion can come because of the Smith attention. Now they get it to number 4, zone for a touchdown. Now it's 1st and goal. Donaldson, this is where he thrives. Diving forward, touchdown. Ohio State down the field, a 91-yard drive to get on the board.
Take a look. Did he get the ball over before the knee is down? The knee is down. Just can't see exactly where the ball is at that point.
We'll have to see the angle kind of down the line to confirm.
The ruling on the previous play was a touchdown. The play is under further review.
I mean, from that angle, that vantage point, it does not look like he got the ball across the plane.
It looked about a half-yard shy. Be his 5th touchdown, all coming from inside the 4 this year. See if we can get the angle directly down. Don't have a look down the line, so this is probably the best look we're going to have. And again, it's got to be conclusive and clear to overturn the call on the field of a touchdown. Robertson, the linebacker, tried his best. Here's a better look at it on this side of it. And it looks like, yeah, just about a couple inches short of the goal line. So I've got to assume that this one is coming back. It'll be a 2nd goal.
The runner's knee was down with the ball a foot short of the goal line. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Good job by the replay officials.
So 9 seconds. You could just take this down.
Yeah.
Let's see what this
Donaldson was stopped on a 4th and 1 at the 5-yard line a week ago against Washington. He's back in the I formation again behind the tight end, Bennett Christian.
They run it to finish the 1st, and Donaldson, this time a no-doubter. Touchdown, Buckeyes.
Really nice block by Nate Roberts, the tight end. They got a tight end here in Kazmarek. Good job at the point of attack, the left tackle, and no doubt on this one as Donaldson powers into the end zone.
Furthest travel drive of the season. Previous was 87 yards. This one, 91 yards down the field. And to finish the 1st quarter, Fielding will try to add the extra point to make it 7-3. While they haven't been as explosive, maybe as expected coming into the season, you see that they certainly can be explosive when they want to be. Fielding is perfect. 7-3 Buckeyes at the end of 1. Fielding sends it away. And this one will be
start. Loves it.
Darius Taylor just 1 carry. Here's his 2nd. 1 yard so far, and this one's going to go for 2 as we check in with KT.
Well, guys, Ohio State defensive end Kenyatta Jackson was doing some light jogging on the sidelines with his helmet off. He did spend about 2 minutes in the medical tent, came out, got on the bike. I'm told that he had a stinger on that play that we saw him coming off the field on. They are continuing to monitor him, and it's a coin toss if he returns to this game, guys.
Thanks, KT. Stinger sounds so much better than it actually is. Stingers,
yeah, but they tend to go away.
Eventually, but you just don't know when. 2nd down and 8 for this Minnesota offense. The productive 1st drive stalled out on the 2nd drive. And now it's Lindsey again with a good pocket. Now we have to get away. Lindsey will just chuck it out of bounds.
Well, you can see this Ohio State defense, after that opening possession, they've tightened things down a little bit. Look, showing pressure, but it's not going to be pressure. It's going to be zone coverage. They show it. Actually, that's man coverage with a robber in the middle. That was Caleb Downs, and nowhere to go with the football for Lindsey. Kind of turning up the heat a little bit here after that opening possession.
Edric Houston got home. Bo Atkinson got some penetration, and it's 3rd down and 8.
Got to try to move the chains here. Let your defense rest a little bit if you can.
Lindsey, Ohio State brings 4. He got rid of it in time. It's knocked away. Tight coverage by Lorenzo Styles, and a 3-and-out for the Gophers.
A really nice rush by Arvell Reese. Watch Reese, number 8, come inside, and he's going to force this throw to happen before Drake Lindsey wanted to. Nice inside move. He's not picked up. Ball has to come out. And tight coverage by Lorenzo Styles down the field. Arvell Reese in this Matt Patricia defense has been a menace. He is a guy they move in a lot of different places. Very explosive athlete at the linebacker position.
Weston got off a good one last time. Another one here as he backs Innes up to the 20. It's a call for a late fair catch right at the 20-yard line. A 53-yard punt.
And the thing that he feels like he's improved this year after playing a whole year was just his understanding of the game, understanding what defenses try to do to take him away.
Over the middle, it's Tate who vacuums it in. Now he's got some space to run. Good block by Smith. And Tate is finally wrestled down. Another big gainer. Nestor has to catch up, but 17 goes for 49.
Well, here's Corey Parrish. He's up here on the line of scrimmage. It's an RPO fake, so that opens up right behind him. Corey Parrish was up around the line of scrimmage. It was a good read by Julian Sayin on the RPO, and another big play for the pass game.
First down from the 31. This time it's Bo Jackson. And snakes his way through a couple of blockers, gets close to the first down, 9.5-yard pickup. Devin Eastern has to come to the backfield and bring him down.
You're going to see the elusiveness of Bo Jackson. Again, he had 17 carries a week ago. He's going to make Nestor miss. And he is the guy out of that 3-back rotation that really has got the chance to be the home run guy. We've seen the strength and the power. We've seen the speed, and that time we saw the make-you-miss ability.
And now how about a combination? James Peoples in there for the first time on 2nd down and 1. And he's got the football. Stutter step move, first down. Inside the red zone for this Buckeye attack that is now clicking on all cylinders. Saves up to 158. Tate has 114 yards. He and Smith have all 7 receptions.
Well, this was an offense. Ryan Day told KT, we'd like to have a fast start. They did not have a fast start offensively a week ago. I mean, until late in the first half, they were scoreless. And they got the touchdown to Jeremiah Smith to take a 7-3 lead. But a much more effective and efficient start in this ballgame.
People stays in there on first down from the 19. Saying play action. Over the middle. Oh, that was dangerous. Coy Parrish nearly had a pick.
Well, he read it. He was going for Jeremiah Smith, and Coy Parrish is going to read this and watch him just kind of read the quarterback and make a play on the football. It's pretty similar to a play he made in a high school all-star game against Jeremiah Smith as well. Snuck in front of it and just couldn't come down with the football.
DJ Fleck told us 3 takeaways would be the goal. If they can take the football away 3 times from this offense, they're going to give themselves a chance in this game. Opportunities like that have to be taken advantage of.
A lot of room up there.
Sainz looking the other way, though. On 2nd and 10, he delivers a strike. Claire, did he get a foot down first? They're going to call it a catch and a first down.
Really athletic play by Claire. The ball was high. Does he get the fifth one down? Yep, easily. Can't get a bolt down, but you only need one. Max Claire, the transfer from Purdue, more the receiving athletic tight end, has not been targeted a ton here in this Ohio State offense, but a very effective weapon as a receiver.
He had 5 or more catches 8 times in his career at Purdue. He's done that 0 times so far this year. The number 1 transfer tight end in the portal. 1st and goal with Jackson back in there. It's Bo. And he gets hit by Nestor in the backfield, kept the legs rolling and gains 2 yards.
Philip Daniels, the right tackle, the kid who transferred from Minnesota, lost his helmet. He's going to have to come out for a play. Nice job by Nestor knifing in there from his cornerback position. Got the first contact.
We saw Ohio State come away with a red zone stop, force a field goal on the opening Minnesota possession. Now can the Gophers do the same? It's 2nd and goal from the 6. Take it to Peoples. Saying first progression. Got rid of it just in time. Too high and too far for Carnell Tate out of bounds.
It's kind of a long developing play, and you're going to see a late rush. Watch the linebacker right here. It's going to be a delayed blitz. When he sees the block of the back go inside, he gets there, and Sayin just not able to make an accurate throw. Pressure also from Carter Mims, number 11, coming from the edge. Big third down play here for the Gopher defense. Their best pass rusher, Anthony Smith, been pretty quiet, number 0 so far.
Saying rifles. It's caught. Jeremiah Smith. Touchdown Buckeyes. The Sayin to Smith connection is alive and well in Columbus.
Well, beautiful route. Watch the little head nod inside right there. The little head nod just froze Nestor, and that was all the separation Jeremiah Smith needed, and Sayin got him the football. Beautiful route. Just got the corner to bite a little bit inside and had enough separation for the touchdown catch.
Fielding on for the point after. 14-3. So after the opening drive resulted in back-to-back touchdown drives, TJ Donaldson on the first, Jeremiah Smith caps off this last one just a couple plays down the field. And the Buckeyes have taken a 14-3 advantage. Another touchback, and the 25.
And that's what I think you see, the advantage of NFL guys when they go into college, their ability to make adjustments on the fly. On-field adjustments, pretty impressive so far.
Lindsey chased, and perfect touch to find his intended target. It was Pierce Walsh who gets toppled for a gain of 10.
Yeah, nice job by Lindsey extending the play. What we've seen ever since that opening possession is more pressure as you see him have to leave the pocket and stickier coverage downfield. That time, Lindsey's ability to extend the play is what opened it up for his tight end. We see 4 different tight ends that will play in this Minnesota offense. Very integral part of what they do.
First catch of the year for Pierce Walsh, the redshirt sophomore. First down from the 35. Handoff. There is Taylor. Yep, gains 5 yards. He had gained 1 on his first carry, 2 on his second, and productive to make it now 2nd and 5 instead of 2nd and long.
Yeah, that's staying ahead of the chains, and it's also, you've got to keep Ohio State honest. You can't let them just assume you're going to throw every down. That's the best run of the game so far for Minnesota, by far.
They've run it only 4 times so far for 8 yards, thrown it 16 for 85, including a lot on that opening possession. Taylor stays in there on 2nd down and 5. Taylor's got the rock, and Taylor is going to set up 3rd and short for this Minnesota offense. And remember, missed the last couple of games with an injury, saw it kind of roll back to his feet there.
Really nice job by Dylan Ray, the number 73, the right guard, got a nice block on Arvell Reese that time to at least give him 3rd and short. Empty backfield.
Brockington in motion into the backfield. And they're going to hand it to him. Brockington won't get there. 4th and short, and now you've got to be curious. Does P.J. Fleck roll the dice with the way this Ohio State offense is playing, knowing they're going to get the kick in the second half?
Well, it looks like he's keeping his offense on the field. I don't know. You're going to give him a short field if you don't convert here. Again, Ohio State's short yardage defense has been outstanding.
And Minnesota's 4th down offense has knocked 2 of 7.
I would go under the center here, though.
And now, Minnesota take its 3rd
No,
time out.
Ohio State.
You're right.
Ohio State.
So it gives P.J. Fleck a little.
They'll have to go silent count here or under the center, one or the other. So the guard's going to look back. You see the left guard looking back. He'll tap the center, and then they go.
It's Taylor. Didn't get it.
Nope.
Buckeyes were ready for it. And Ohio State sitting pretty with excellent field position.
Credit Lorenzo Styles, the middle linebacker, number 0, for making this play. He's going to time the snap and get a great jump on the football. As you put the quarterback 5 yards back, you have to use silent count on the road, and they timed up the snap and made the play.
So, Fleck gets aggressive. Now let's see if the Buckeyes capitalize. Take the reverse. Saying, load it, wide open. Carnell Tate, 44-yard touchdown. One play, a major strike for the Buckeyes.
Watch the attention that Jeremiah Smith gets. He's going to go in motion, and that's going to take the safety out. So it's one-on-one, and he absolutely turns around Zaquan Bryant, number 4. The motion removed the safety from the equation, and Julian Sayin with another explosive pass play to Carnell Tate.
So that's his 3rd catch tonight of 40-plus yards. Chewing up this defense. He's got 6 for 158 and a touchdown. We're not even midway through the second as Fielding adds the extra point, and it's 20.
Didn't bring us any. I thought he'd deliver some of those to the booth.
The great Jerry Emick, the SID here at Ohio State. And a touchback once again for this Minnesota offense.
When I talked to Danny Collins, the defensive coordinator, he said, we have to know where number 4 is. Well, there he is, Jeremiah Smith. Watch the motion. It's going to pull a bunch of defenders with him and leave poor Zaquan Bryant, number 4, all alone against Carnell Tate. And Julian Sayin gets him the football. Watch all these defenders go with Jeremiah Smith. It opens up the whole field. And another beautiful deep throw by Julian Sayin.
Carnell Tate has talked about Sayin's throwing ability. He said it's basically like he was born to do this. He can just put it in the perfect spot every time he releases the football. You saw the touch on that deep ball. And now a big hole for the Gophers as Taylor has the first touch of the possession, and he loses a yard. Will Smith Jr. makes the tackle.
Again, this defensive front, they call themselves no names. They got a chip on their shoulder, but they got a lot of them. They play a lot of guys. The first guy getting down the line, Caden Curry, number 92. Just kind of forcing a good back to bounce side to side and not able to pick up any yards.
Second down and 10. Taylor in his return. 6 carries, 10 yards. Longest run went for 5. They put gears in motion. They bring 4. Lindsey, sideline, one-on-one. A lot of tugging, but incomplete, and the flag does come in. It looked like it was high for Gears. Not sure how catchable it was, as the linebacker Peyton Pierce was back there in coverage.
Well, we've seen more pressure, and we've seen more man coverage. The other question, is this a catchable pass?
And we're going to hear it would be the first penalty on either side.
That's clearly holding.
There is no foul for pass interference on a play. 3rd down.
That feels like the right call.
Yeah.
It's got to be in that wheelhouse where Gears could actually make a play on the football. And clearly too high even for the 6'5", 250-pound frame of the 5th-year senior.
No man coverage on that 2nd down and 10 play. Let's see if they stay with man, try to bring a little bit more heat on Drake Lindsey. 3rd and 10, you got to hold the ball a little bit longer for longer developing routes. They love to blitz Arvell Reese, number 8.
Ohio State still looking for their first sack of the game. Caden Curry had 3 by himself last week. Here he comes around the edge, and there goes the first sack. Arvell Reese cleans it up in the backfield. 4th and forever.
One of the things that makes this defense so special this year is Caden Curry's one of those guys who can play a lot of spots. He's a defensive tackle, and he's going to get the initial pressure. Normally he's a defensive end, but on 3rd and long they move him inside. It's a good rush also by the transfer from North Carolina, Bo Atkinson, and then Arvell Reese there to finish it off.
So we'll see. Brandon Innes could have some room to work with. They do bring But Ohio State can't get there in time. Now, Innis will call for the fair. It's irrelevant right now, as Ohio State will have the football from the 29-yard line. They'll also get it to start the second half. Swing it to Tate. He's been the star today. And he goes airborne, flipped over, and then got popped at the end by Bryan and Brown.
Well, coming into this game, Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate had combined for over 60% of their completions and their touchdowns, and that has continued. It's knocked off his feet. Kerry Brown for a very short gain on first down.
So Tate came into this game with 15 catches for 252 and 3 touchdowns. He already in this first half has 7 catches for 162 and a touchdown. Ties his career high in catches, already a career high in yards. Now let's get Smith involved. To the outside, and Jeremiah makes it 3rd and 1.
Well, we talk about these two guys. They are both dynamite playmaking guys, and tonight they're taking shots down the field. We're seeing the accuracy of Julian Sayin, but we're seeing the explosive capabilities of these two standout wide receivers. Jeremiah Smith, beautiful route here, and then the hands catch in the end zone of Carnell Tate, one-on-one at the big field. No match for Zaquan Bryant. And these two guys have really stepped up in the first half here for the Buckeye offense.
And Minnesota get a stop. It's from Jackson, and it's a first down. He slipped through that first pass, their first 2 tests of the year. Good protection now for Sayin. He's got all day to throw, and then just goes short for Claire. And gets hit immediately by Bryant for a modest gain of 6. So the first week of the season, you get the preseason #1 in Texas here at home. And then last week, they felt like it was their first test, certainly within the Big Ten, going to Washington in what was a close game into the 3rd quarter. And then finally, Ohio State broke through towards the end. Ryan Day said he was really happy, especially with a lot of inexperienced players in big spots, how they handled things when it didn't go perfect. And it set them up in this game.
Very low scoring first half. They took control of the game in the second half.
Pitch it, Innis has to get away. He did initially, and then he got decked by Devin Williams. So 3rd and short, once again for the Buckeyes. Innis is going to gingerly make his way to the sideline.
You know, we might even see Ohio State take a shot right here with the idea they would go for it on 4th down. They might be thinking 2-down territory right now. Ryan Day, Brian Hartline, a chance to put a real dagger in. It looks like a run set with a lot of big people in the game.
And it was whistled before, and a timeout
Before the ball was
for Ohio
snapped.
State.
Timeout, Ohio State.
So 3:29 to play. They take their final of this first half. Threatening once again, already with a 21-3 advantage. And you could see in the huddle, Julian Sayin
in there Lincoln Keenholz, who is a better runner, a bigger person. Now, it looked like Sayin would have easily made the first down on that quarterback sneak had they not called timeout. And now they have Keenholz in, who's a little bit more known as a runner on this 3rd and short.
Innis back out there as well. Good to see that. He's in the slot. 3rd and 1. Keenholz will run. Blocking from Donaldson. He lost his footing.
Lost his footing. He may have lost a yard also, or half a yard.
John Nestor was there either way. It was about to be a foot race to the edge, and Keenholz might have lost it.
Yeah, here's Nestor right here. He's got the edge. He's the edge defender. Fights off the block of Donaldson really well. And kind of a wasted time out there. That play didn't really get him anything. I think Ryan Day wanted him to run that ball inside instead of trying to bounce it outside. Lost a little ground, and now they got a punt.
So McGuire will send it away. They have Quentin Redding back there. And a flag is down, and this is going to back up a little further for the Buckeyes.
Before the ball was snapped, false start. Offense number 5, 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
First penalty of this game officially.
Now that one doesn't really hurt Ohio State. They were lined up to punt anyway. You got a little bit more room now. Try to pin Minnesota deep. See if your defense can get the ball back here. Even though you don't have any timeouts if you're Ohio State.
And now they've decided to put Coy Parrish back out there for the punt return. So initially it was going to be Redding when maybe they thought they would just fair catch it or let it fall into the end zone. Now they're saying that Parrish can make something happen. Boot it, line drive, Parrish brings it in with a fair catch at the 10. Ball to start the second half.
And everything started so well for Drake Lindsey. He started 7 for 7. He's now 3 of his last 10. Not even over 100 yards passing right now. And Ohio State's defense has really clamped down after that first possession.
Play action on first down. And he finds his running back Cam Davis. Turn it up the sideline. He gets ushered out of bounds by McLean after a gain of 6.5. So the first drive for Minnesota, 13 plays down the field for 66 yards and a field goal. Since then, 4 drives, 3 of them 3 and outs, 23 total yards.
Well, again, this Ohio State defense, we showed you the numbers, we showed you the stats. They've been unbelievable. Holding opponents to under 6 points per ball game. Excellent on third down. Excellent in the red zone. And after that opening possession, the red zone, they had to settle for a field goal.
Second down and 3 after the 2-minute timeout. Handoff, Taylor scampers forward for the first down to the 21-yard line. Minnesota has 1 timeout remaining here.
You always want to get that first down, and see if you can get a little breathing room. And now we might see them open it up a little bit.
Just got to be so careful with the way that the Ohio State offense is humming. That one batted up and incomplete. First one batted, this one from Taiwan Malone Jr.
Yeah, this is a play where they show pressure. What they show in the pre-snap is not what they do in the post-snap. Show pressure, then they back out. It's just a 4-man rush, playing zone behind it. And a nice job getting a hand on the football by Malone.
So 146, so that's the danger with throwing. The incomplete pass to stop the clock and give a potential of Ohio State getting the football back to double dip. Second down and 10, again showing pressure. Taylor trying to get to the outside. He's going to stay in bounds. He lost a yard on the quick. Zion Grady diagnosed it immediately, got to him. Clock rolling with 1.5 minutes to play.
Well, he lost yardage, but it was smart to go down in bounds because Ohio State is out of timeouts. So you're trying to milk as much of the clock here as you can. Would not be shocked to see him run the football here again on 3rd and long. Because you don't want to put the ball in harm's way and give Ohio State a short field.
Ejeboy the back now on 3rd and 12. Play clock down to 2.
They get a snap and did get it off. And we've seen this a couple times. Again, their operation is the guard needs to look back and then alert the center. And for whatever reason, the guard is not late snapping the football. They called timeout to avoid this. This time, they got the penalty. Operation. That means play in and out of the huddle, quicker at the line of scrimmage.
It's Ejeboy on 3rd and 17. He runs into the umpire, and then Sonny Styles slowed him down initially. He got a lot of the yards, but not enough. Picks up 13, needed 17. Clock is going to dwindle down before Minnesota will punt it away.
I think Minnesota will take this all the way down and use their last timeout when it gets to about 2 seconds before they punt the football.
You don't even necessarily have to punt it. You could try to just run around and drain the clock all the way down as well, chuck it up, and get it to zeros. But you see that PJ Fleck is talking to his punter, Tom Weston, before he calls the timeout. We'll see where the clock ends up. Take it to 1 on the play clock. And
this week and next week after the tough loss at home in overtime to Oregon, but they got outplayed today by the winless Bruins.
So they do send Tom Weston out there. Let's see if he can try to drain some of the clock. You got to be careful. Ohio State probably sending everybody, and they are. And they just get it off. Weston got hit on the back end. The flag is down, and this one will bounce as Innes just lets it fall all the way to the 15. So we'll hold off and wait for the penalty. Weston did get hit. It was only 4th and 4. So either variety.
That's the end of the first half.
So Minnesota says we'll take it to that. A lot of people said last year if he was eligible, he would have been the first overall pick in the NFL draft. As this will be a touchback, so Minnesota decided to receive. Let's go to KT.
Well, guys, we're seeing the Minnesota defense pay so much attention to Jeremiah Smith. It's leaving a lot of other options open, and I just talked to PJ Fleck about that, and he said, we're doing everything we can. At this point, you just have to pick your poison and try to keep them off balance. As for that opening drive you were just talking about, Noah, he said Ohio State was in base D. As soon as they started to switch up the fronts on us, they've been playing more man-to-man, and we need to do a better job of recognizing it and getting those sustained drives that we need, guys.
Tim, when we asked PJ Fleck about his time as a GA with Ohio State 2006, he said the biggest thing he learned is that this is a player's game at the end of the day. Coaches can be as great as they possibly can, but the talent generally wins out. Not always, but generally wins out, and that's why it's such a difficult task against this Ohio State. Offense loaded at every position, defense loaded at every position, and they've got a first down from the 25 to start the third quarter.
I think Minnesota can't play much more man defense. Good stop on this first down run.
Jackson got stood up initially at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to give him a half yard on that first down carry. His 8th touch of the game. He's got 36.
Danny Collins is the defensive coordinator, really a loved guy on this staff, loved by all the players, and just, you know, one of those guys you really root for. Great story. He's 14 years in coaching. But his first 10 years, he was never a full-time assistant. He was a GA, he was an analyst, he was a student coach when he was in college at Western Michigan, and only in the last 4 years has he been an actual paid assistant coach.
Saying has to get away, floats one. Oh, what a grab by Carnell Tate. Right now he can do no wrong, adding to his career-high talent.
So Sayin does a nice job extending the play, but this is beautiful work on the sideline by Carnell Tate. Ball thrown in a good spot, but just excellent footwork by Carnell Tate.
That right foot down, that left foot down. That's good on Sundays. Man, he is impressive. And again, understanding with all the attention that Jeremiah is going to garner, he's going to have openings. He's had plenty of them tonight. 8 catches, 179, and a touchdown. People's in there now on first down from the 42. Taking for him. Sayin to the outside. They've been looking to get their tight end, Max Clare, involved a little bit more here tonight than maybe in the previous games. His third catch goes for 9 yards.
We had deep routes on this play action as well. Didn't like what he saw down the field. Good decision to dump it off to a shorter option and make it a 2nd and short.
So you brought up Danny Collins, said that he was never really a full-time assistant until just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It's a guy who slept in a custodian closet just so he could be around PJ Fleck and help out as a GA at Western Michigan after he graduated from Western as a student assistant. Peoples was in there, but a flag down, and we'll back up this Ohio State offense just a tad.
Before the ball was snapped, false start. Offense number 89. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Danny Collins is the 3rd different defensive coordinator in the last 3 years from Minnesota. They've had some good ones. I mean, Joe Rossi did a really good job. He went to Michigan State. Danny Heatherman went to Miami, running that Hurricane defense now. And Danny Collins got promoted from within. He's coached just about every position on their defense at one time or another. He coaches the safeties. Now he's a coordinator.
Sayin completes on 2nd and 6 to Clare to move the sticks.
The choice he's got to make right here now is it slow kill? I mean, do I play zone and hope they make a mistake, or hope the young quarterback gets greedy? Because when I tried to go man-to-man or try to get pressure, we gave up big plays over our head. So I think in the long run, you're better off playing more zone and trying to force this quarterback to be patient. The one thing that Julian Sayin has shown all season, he's a California guy, he's got a pretty cool temperament, and he doesn't force things down the field.
Pitch it. Jackson loses 2. Now we go to KT.
Well, Todd, to what you were saying, Sonny Styles told me the Buckeyes are comfortable beating down any team in the fourth quarter, but most games are actually won or lost in this pivotal middle section. The last 4 minutes of the second quarter, the first 4 minutes of this third. And C.J. Donaldson added that their preparation to do this starts in practice. They mentally place themselves in the second half and said it's their philosophy to come out of the half fast.
We saw that Ryan Day was not quite satisfied because of the 3rd and 1 they didn't convert at the end of that second quarter. He talked about winning the first couple minutes of this third, how important it is putting this team away. So the closer it gets in the third, advantage to Minnesota. It looked like a miscommunication there, and saying it's just going to have to eat what looked like maybe back to the line of scrimmage as Brian makes the tackle.
Well, you got a young quarterback and a young back, and somebody went the wrong way. The guess is the back went the wrong way. Peoples has not been in very much. Julian Sains just tries to make something out of it, but a 3rd and long situation and an opportunity for this Gopher defense to get off the field.
The quarterback saying it was the running back's fault. Is that what you're saying?
It usually is.
3rd and 12. Opening drive to this second half. Sain, Minnesota only brings 3. Sain gets away with a flag down. And Sain is just going to turn it upfield, and then he gets leveled out of bounds. A big hit. Looked like it was legal from the freshman Emmanuel Karma.
I would imagine that they will decline this penalty as well.
He was certainly still in bounds, and yeah, that's a good hit. So we'll see if it is, in fact, a hold on Hinsman.
So PJ's going to back him up.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
A little bit of a surprising decision instead of taking the 4th down, but maybe the thought of 0 chance of a field goal.
It's Hinsman right here in the middle. Gets called for the hold. It only happens when the quarterback tries to leave the pocket. It wasn't a hold while he was in the pocket. Rashawn Lawrence, number 16, was rushing over the center, and as soon as that quarterback left the pocket, the center doesn't know where he's at, and he gets caught holding as the defensive guy tries to disengage and make a play.
Now remember in the first half, Carnell Tate had 3 catches of 40-plus. Jeremiah Smith had 1 for 31 yards. Sain steps up, gets rid of it. It's Smith, and it's sniffed out.
Now that's good defense, because this is the play they ran for a touchdown right at the end of the first half against Washington last week. It's designed to go underneath as a screen pass to Jeremiah Smith. Guys are blocking downfield, and that time Minnesota was ready for it, and it was well defended for no gain.
So Joe McGuire will punt it for the 2nd time tonight. Coy Parrish standing back at his own 16-yard line. Hasn't gotten an opportunity yet. We've seen how dangerous he is as a return man.
That's good.
Parrish is going to have a chance from the 18. And Parrish stays on his feet. Flag is down. Parrish still has it across the 20. And finally swallowed up at the 25, but we wait for the penalty. Parrish was outstanding as a return man last season. Now we see what the penalty is.
During the return. Illegal ball.
The effort at a young age has paid off.
Yeah, he said he actually didn't even want to play sports as a kid because that was what they were doing every morning, and that's what it was creating as Loya loses about 1.5 yards, and Jermaine Matthews combines with Lorenzo Styles on the tackle. There's something that separates the great from elite. Caleb Downs obviously has it in his genes, with his dad being in the NFL, his brother Josh now in his 3rd year with the Colts. But that type of work ethic that was instilled in him early, we've seen it from Jeremiah Smith. We know that story of him running the hills. The Styles brothers did the same thing when they were growing up. That's what takes you to the next level. And this is the result of all that work of all these years later, banked up, as Caleb Downs has created himself into a monster, the best defensive player in college football. That run is going to go for maybe 1 yard as Egypt Boy disappears.
This defensive front now for Ohio State is really kind of taking control of the football game. They did in the second quarter, and they're starting the third quarter the same way. Not much movement, not much push. forcing third down and long, deep in their own territory. Minnesota has had trouble with their silent count operation in critical situations, and here they are, 3rd and 10.
Third and 10. Lindsey, lost, sideline, incomplete. He was looking for Javon Tracy, matched up with Davison Igbinosun. No flag down, and another 3 and out for Minnesota.
Igbinosun has been known to get called for some holding penalties. He's long as a defensive back. He's 6'2", 195 pounds, has his hands on the jersey, and no call right on the Minnesota sideline. I mean, he does that a lot. He did it a lot last year and got called for it a lot, and I'm not sure why it wasn't called right there.
He led all FBS defenders last year with 16 penalties, but he did have a team-high 9 PBUs. Brandon Innes will have some room to work with from the 44-yard line. Oh, he's going to throw it back across the field. Styles is going to take it down the sideline. Good blocking, and Lorenzo Styles. Back here, Sam on first down to Jackson on the outside. Weaves his way through. It's 1st and goal.
We're seeing a little bit of everything with Bo Jackson. Of course, we know the wideouts. We've seen Max Clare catch the ball at the tight end. We've seen this guy run with some power, with some speed. That time they put him out as a wide receiver. And again, that ability to make people miss out in space. Just another dynamic playmaker to add to this Ohio State offense. And Julian Sayin continues to just deliver the ball in the right spots. 18 for 21 now for 268 and 2 touchdowns.
Smith at the top of the screen, matched up with Bryan. Instead of Jackson up the middle. And he pushes forward and bulldozes his way to the 5 as Baranowski made first contact. They're still working with Drake Lindsey, trying to figure out how to get back to that rhythm he had on that opening drive when they went down the field in 13 plays to kick the field goal. BJ Fleck just looking for answers, period. And he knew it was going to be a tall task for his team. Felt like they'd be prepared for this environment, which for the most part they have been. But sometimes the talent on the other side that Ohio State boasts is too great. And we've seen it in every facet so far. Now can they get the freshman Jackson a touchdown? Hand it to him. Jackson, the hole, Jackson to the goal line. And they're going to mark him short at the half-yard line.
Nice double team between the center and the left guard. Jackson trying to fight his way to the goal line.
Ooh.
Boy, that looked like he got the ball over the plane. Don't know where his knee was. Now, Hintzman, you're really not allowed to pull a guy. You can push a guy, but you can't pull him.
The previous play was the runner was down short of the line, short of the goal line. The play is under further review.
I think he was down on top of a Minnesota player. I don't think he was down on the ground.
No, there's no body part that hits the ground. He extends that. That should be a pretty easy review, if anything. And impressive effort for the freshman who got kind of pushed back at the 2-yard line. You see he keeps fighting here, dragged down by 2 different defenders from behind, just showing off the strength at 6'2", 217. And then Hintzman does kind of grab him a little bit, but that was mostly on the push from Jackson on the full extension to the goal line. And they just saw it at Ohio Stadium.
A really nice blocking on the left side. Luke Montgomery, the left guard. Carson Hintzman, the center, double team. Austin Saravel, number 67, the left tackle. A nice kick out block.
After review, it's a touchdown.
Very concise announcement, and a correct one at that. Jackson gets into the end zone. His second touchdown of the season and of his career.
It's only 11 carries for 43 yards and that touchdown, so not flashy numbers, but he sure does look like he's the answer for him as they lead back. Another weapon to add to this offense. You have to play coverage and commit safeties when you've got guys like Tate and Smith. And that opens things up to run the football.
4 different players now with a touchdown for Ohio State. Fielding stays perfect on extra points. 28. So Rob Keyes, the special teams coordinator, dials up something fun, unique. And Lorenzo Styles was just more frustrated that he didn't score after the play. Either way, it sets up the eventual score, 28-3 for the Buckeyes that they booted away.
And one happy guy up here in the booth with us.
Josh Selesnik, our resident Canes fan, our statistician, doing work, and he's been put to work today with some of the numbers that Carnell Tate has put together as Ethan Osen upends Ejeboy on that carry. So you could say, oh, you know, Minnesota just hasn't figured it out. Again, you have to credit this Ohio State defense. This is one of the best units, 100%.
All the way through. I mean, you can say, well, not just against Grambling, not just against, you know, Ohio University. They did it against Texas in the opener. They did it on the road at Washington, shutting them down completely in the second half. And they're just controlling the action. Ever since that first possession, Minnesota has gotten nothing.
Rockington in motion, free rusher came, and it was nearly picked and nearly caught, and instead it's just incomplete. Jermaine Matthews had the coverage and went through his hands.
Yeah, they don't bring a lot of pressure. This time they show it and they're going to bring it. And so they're coming after the quarterback. Caleb Downs is getting into the backfield, and really credit the receiver, Javon Tracy, number 11, for just kind of fighting in there and not allowing it to be intercepted. Because that was in a perfect spot for Jermaine Matthews.
Matthews had his 1 interception this year on Arch Manning in the 3rd quarter of week 1. It's 3rd and 8, another 3rd and long. Pressure comes off the edge on both sides. Rockington has the short catch and he loses yards. Sonny Styles made the first contact, cleaned up by his defensive line, and another 3 and out for the Gophers.
Well, look where Sonny Styles comes from. Here he is right here. He's going to be all the way in here and just get out there so quick to make the play. The throw was not a great throw. Had to reach back for it, but just the amount of time it took Styles to close this space is impressive. Again, Styles began as a safety, kept getting bigger and stronger, and he moved to linebacker, and that's really the more natural position for him.
So Weston will get this one off. Innis backs up from the 18. Gets in between 2. Now to the outside, and he gets tripped up. That's an important play made by Gerlach.
Well, Julian Sayin continues to evolve as the starting quarterback here. 19 of 22, 279 yards. Watch this throw. The timing on the touchdown to Jeremiah Smith. His receiver gets separation, puts the ball perfectly. And then watch this dime that he drops off the play action. The one-on-one, Carnell Tate deep. He has been on the money all night. Short, long, to both receivers, to his tight end Claire. To Bo Jackson out of the backfield again, 19 of 22. 279 and 2 touches.
You look at the rushing breakdown. 11 carries for Jackson, only 1 for Peoples and 3 for Donaldson, including the touchdown. Now the freshman Isaiah West is in the game and said to go to Tate. Already with a career high in catches and yards, he adds to it. His 9th catch, a short gain of 4 yards.
Carnell Tate has really benefited from the attention Minnesota has paid to Jeremiah Smith tonight. Jeremiah Smith, kind of modest numbers, 5 catches, 53 yards, 1 touchdown, but he has drawn so much attention from this Gopher defense. It has left a lot of one-on-one situations for Carnell Tate, and they have taken advantage of it and exploited that.
Last 200-yard receiver in a game for Ohio State was Jackson Smith from Jigma. That was that crazy 347 against Utah in the 2021 season as Baranowski makes the tackle on West in his first carry of the night. Brings up 3rd down.
Coming into this game, Minnesota's run defense had been stout, only allowing 65.5 yards per game, 2.3 yards per carry. They've been good against the run again tonight, but they've given up some explosive pass plays, trying to play some man-to-man coverage against guys they don't match up with very well.
Peoples back in there for this 3rd down and 3. Under 3 minutes to play in the 3rd. Sayin, sideline, caught, Smith out of bounds for a 1st down.
He's just such a big body that on a route like that, even if a defender's in pretty good position like Nestor is, he just can't get around him. He's got to respect the speed and the ability of Jeremiah to run by him. But again, timing and accuracy, can't defend that. First down, Ohio State.
So Smith and Tate came in accounting for over 50% of the team's receptions and 61% of the receiving yards. They've combined tonight 15 receptions for about 240 yards and just 21 completions for the Buckeyes. Sayin got smothered at the end and delivered a dime to Max Clare. Now that is going to turn some heads from the young QB.
Yeah, this is some guts now. Watch. He's going to get pressured by Carter Menz, number 11. Comes free up the middle. A breakdown in protection. But Julian Sayin stood right in there and got enough on the football down the middle of the field to Clare. That is a gutsy throw. Knowing you're going to get hit in the mouth.
Good sign moving forward for this Ohio State offense, getting Clare involved more. Yep. 5th catch of the night, 9th time in his career that he's done that, up to 63 yards here in this one. Jackson back on the field, bumps it to the outside. Bo Jackson picks up 9. Baranowski just held on for dear life.
Well, think about it now. As this season, as Ohio State not looking ahead at this point, we're just going to go to the 4th quarter, but you've got Jeremiah Smith, proven commodity. You've got Carnell Tate, proven commodity. The offensive line is solid. You've got a young quarterback that's getting better and better. Now you add Max Clare. Now you add Bo Jackson. This is an offense that has a chance to be pretty dynamic.
Take the pitch. Sayin looking towards the end zone. Incomplete. Tight coverage by Parrish on Max Clare, the tight end. Only the 4th incompletion for Sayin tonight. He came in leading the country in completion percentage.
Yeah, watch number 3, Parrish. He's actually going to be beat, but watch the closing speed. He's beat right now, but he catches up in a hurry. Ball thrown a little bit outside, but that's because Parrish closed the gap and really didn't leave anywhere to throw the football.
Parrish, who really struggled in Minnesota's one loss at Cal. Felt like they put a lot on his plate on both sides of the ball. And he had a huge bounce back last week against Rutgers. Played an exceptional game. This time it will be Sayin to push it forward for the first down.
Yeah, nice job by that same freshman tight end, Nate Roberts, number 83, lined up as the fullback. Watch, he's going to get right in behind Sayin and give him a heck of a push. And an easy conversion for the first down.
Quarter winding down, Sayin heading towards the sideline. They'll have to snap it, or no, Sayin back into the huddle, I should say, as they will have to snap it at least one more time here before the end of the 3rd. Hand off. It's Jackson to the outside. First down and goal coming up as we will get out of bounds. 3 seconds remaining. Brian forces him to the outside.
And Matt Kingsbury, number 49, thought he was going to get a play in the backfield.
Goal to start the 4th quarter with James Peoples in the backfield. Sayin keeps, Sayin throws, touchdown. Jeremiah Smith, his 2nd of the night, and Sayin has his 3rd.
Another RPO throw to kind of hold the defensive linebacker, open up the window. Watch, you're going to throw off of this guy. The play fake's going to hold the linebacker, and then you throw right in behind him. And then watch the strength of Jeremiah Smith's hand. Just reaches up and snatches the ball. Both of his touchdown catches were hand catches, grabbing the ball out of the air. He is as impressive as it gets as a wide receiver.
This is his 21st game played, and it's already his 5th multi-touchdown game. 35-3 after the extra point from fielding. So one play into the 4th. Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sayin extend those.
When's Fiesta going 0-3 with the Buckeyes?
Really good question, John. I mean, the other thing is, Todd, I know you're not a big Heisman guy early in the season, but the way that Carson Beck has played in a couple of these big games, at night in particular, has certainly lived up to what Miami hoped he would bring to the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to really talk about Heisman favorites and that kind of thing until we get to November, but as a Heisman voter, I do pay a lot of attention to how they play in the biggest games. I think that's one of the real criteria, for me anyway, when I consider who to vote for.
Dante Moore now the odds-on favorite after last week's win at Penn State.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Uncharacteristic
That's
mistake
number
from
2's
Caleb
first
Downs.
unsportsmanlike of the game.
Let's take a look. He got hit late.
Yeah, that's a late forearm to his head. I mean, that should have been a penalty on Minnesota. I think he got called for kicking the guy at the end of the play, but that was totally a foul that went against him.
Nathan Roy delivered the hit and then took, we always say, the second guy always gets in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's instead a first down from the 39-yard line. Handed, Ejeboy through the hole, stays on his feet, and the best run of the night for Minnesota goes for 11 all the way to midfield.
You know, Minnesota has always been a team that has had more than one running back. They've always, when they've been at their best, they've had 2 go-to guys. And they want to see if Ejeboy can get to that level so he could be that guy with Darius Taylor. They also had A.J. Turner, who was a transfer from Marshall, who was out for the rest of the year with an injury. So they need this guy to kind of step up and be that other weapon in the backfield.
First time in Buckeye territory in the second half. It's Ejeboy again, and explodes forward for another 8.5 yards. When we asked P.J. Fleck about Femi Ejeboy, he said he's got a lot of Mo Ibrahim in him, which, I mean, that's a high level of praise. Saying he's not him yet. Certainly isn't him, but body type, game style for the guy who was the all-time leading rusher, by the time he exits, still is, for this Minnesota program. And Mo came back last year, helped talk to Darius Taylor and mentor some of the backs that they had for last year's team. And now they're hoping that Ejeboy can develop into a similar type of player as his career continues to transpire. It's going to be a first down carry for Cam Davis. And the Washington transfer will take it to the 36-yard line for a first down.
I know it's 35-3, but this is by far the best Minnesota has looked running the football. And Ohio State looks like they're going to concede some yards on the ground until they get closer to that red zone. And again, they have yet to give up a red zone touchdown on the season. They've only given up 25 points total in 5 games. Now that's absurd.
P.J. Fleck was asked about how they held Washington at just 6, and he's like, well, they're holding opponents to 5. So Washington actually outperformed what they were expected to do. He's going to get stumped down to Davis, and he'll get it across the 30 to the 29-yard line.
I mentioned the versatility of this defense. Up front, it's Caden Curry. He can line up at defensive end, defensive tackle, nose tackle in certain passing situations. Then behind him, you've got Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles, who they can move around and line up. And then behind that, it's Caleb Downs and Lorenzo Styles, number 2 and number 3, that can line up in a lot of different places. And so they're very versatile, and they can mix and match a lot of defensive concepts.
Not to mention the experience now of Nathan Mason on the outside, who's been a starter the last couple of years for this defense. Ejeboy back in there for second down and 3. High snap, handled. Ejeboy snakes his way for a first down and then some. Gets across the 25, and they'll mark him down at the 23.
Yeah, really nice run. Jermaine Matthews was coming on a blitz. Watch number 7 right here. He's going to just run right past the running back. He's unblocked, but he gets too far upfield, and Ejeboy just kind of slips right inside of him and then fights for the first down.
So Ejeboy starting to put together a stellar drive, 4 carries for 25 yards. He's now up to 41 yards on the night. And again, Minnesota is knocking on the door of the red zone. Keep feeding him this time. He goes nowhere. He'll lose a yard. He gets engulfed.
Really a nice play by Edric Houston, number 96. Right here, watch in the middle. It wasn't Houston. It was 98. Caden McDonald just kind of whips the right guard and gets in the backfield. The two Cadens, right? Caden McDonald, a defensive tackle. Caden Curry, defensive end. They have both had outstanding starts to this season as starting defensive linemen.
And both great examples of guys that came in expecting to be high-level contributors earlier in their career, waited their turn, and have been splashing through this season. Now Lynch's going to take a shot, and it's incomplete. Gears was the intended target. Tight coverage. Caleb Downs was back there, and it brings up 3rd and 11.
This is what Caleb Downs, which makes him special. He can do a little bit of everything. He can blitz, he can play run defense, he can play deep safety, and he can play man-to-man. In this case, he's got single coverage on a bigger target, but he's in perfect position to defend the tight end.
In that field goal range, of course, would love to at least get it closer and give themselves a potential decision on a 4th and short, or get the first down here. On this 3rd down and 11. Three rusher Styles up the middle. They set the screen up, and nowhere to go. Caden Curry was right there. And he devours Bibber.
This is just a great read by Caden Curry. This time, look, he's lined up over the center. He's the nose tackle. He's going to start to rush, and then he's going to read middle screen and fall back in and make the play. He's very instinctive. He's got a great motor. And Ryan Day said he's just a great college football player. That was an outstanding play, lined up in a different position and snuffing out the play.
Denneberg has missed 2 field goals the last 2 weeks. This one a 41-yard attempt, and it is pushed wide to the right. So Minnesota with another productive drive. One of their...
Hard to argue that Ohio State and Ryan Day didn't make the right choice. Julian Sain has been outstanding, but it was a tight competition. This was not decided until the middle of August.
First down line brought to you by T-Mobile, and James Peoples finds that first down and then some.
Holtz is a little bigger, a little bit more of a running threat, even though he got stopped on that 3rd down play that upset Ryan Day so much in the first half. Julian Sain, a very pure passer.
And he admitted to us that he still feels like he needs to get better at leading the team and breaking out of his shell a little bit. Ryan Day did say one of the great signs that he's felt is he tries to rattle him every day at practice as Holtz drops back his first throw of the night with plenty of time. And he fires a dart. It is caught by Quincy Porter, and the freshman gets across midfield for a gain of 15. He said the best thing that he's seen out of Sain is, well, he tries to rattle him and he'll get on his tail a little bit. Well, now Sain's actually starting to go back at him sometimes, and he feels like that's been a good thing to get some fire out of his young quarterback. Approaching 8 minutes to play here from Columbus. This is looking like it'll be a 5-0 start for the defending champions before they head on the road next week to go to Illinois.
Illinois has really turned things around since the last time we saw them. Oh, man.
Peoples, look out! Down the sideline! Peoples ducked down! Kerry Brown had to catch up, just got enough of an angle, but Peoples rips one.
And watch the outside, the right tackle, the tight end, Jelani Thurman, in there, number 15. Just kind of open it up as a stretch play, and Peoples kind of squirts through there. Now backup offensive lineman in there as well, and that's an outstanding run by Peoples.
Three-headed monster, and Ryan Day mentioned Peoples and Jackson in particular, continuing to learn the game and continuing to learn patience, learn to know where their eyes are going, pass protection with their young quarterback. Donaldson's played by far the most football. We saw Donaldson carry it 4 times tonight. This one will go for 3.
You know, the other thing he said, which I had never really thought about, but it's really true, he said, you know, really good running backs in high school don't get tackled very much. You know, so when they get to college, it's kind of a new thing, getting tackled in practice, getting tackled in games. And it takes a while. He said, you know, the Travion Henderson, when he was a freshman and sophomore, compared to what he was last year, much different back. You know, you not only get bigger and stronger, but you're used to what the game is like and how physical it is and how physical you have to be.
He said he estimated somewhere around 10 times a year you're getting legitimately tackled if you're at that level. And obviously all the guys playing here were at that level, including Peoples, who puts up the middle and dives forward close to a first down. Parrish just got enough in the way. It's going to be a 3rd and short.
Obviously, Peoples with very fresh legs on this backup offensive line, and a Minnesota defense that's been out there on the field quite a bit.
An offensive line that they feel at Ohio State might be the deepest they've had in a long time. They said they don't expect any drop-off when the twos are out there, and we're seeing that on this drive as Peoples now up to 58 yards, looking to pay it off with a 3rd down and 1. Dean Holtz on the give. Peoples up the middle. 1st and goal for the Buckeyes. So 5:35 to play. And this Ohio State running game now catching up to what they've done through the air.
This is just what they call a duo play. It's double team by the guard and the center. It's a double team by the tackle and the tight end, and it's just kind of power football.
Peoples on this drive, 5 carries, 57 yards, including the big one that went for 33. This was his career-long rush. Approaching 5 minutes to play. Ohio State 470 total yards of offense. 326 coming from the arm of Sayin. Go to the motion man. Peoples on the give. Makes the cut and then gets planted by Brown.
Yeah, really nice play by Kerry Brown. He's on the end of the line. He gets in the backfield and just holds him up enough. Here he is, number 14. Watch him. Just get across the line of scrimmage and just get enough of Peoples to slow him up until he had a couple teammates get there. But good play as an edge defender by the nickelback.
Let's not forget, this is Brian Hartline, offensive coordinator's first time calling plays this year full-time. So any extra work for him is also welcome. Keen Holtz will take it himself for the touchdown. Big-bodied, able-running junior quarterback getting it done to cap an impressive drive down the field.
Remember the 3rd down that he didn't get? He tried to bounce it outside. Ryan Day said, why didn't you run it inside? Well, this time he does run it inside. Follows Peoples as a lead blocker. They pull the backside guard, Gabe Van Sickle, number 58. And the quarterback powers it into the end zone.
Replay has determined the ball was short of the goal line. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line.
So we thought.
Yeah.